So I assume you know what this video is already going to be about. I mean, everybody is talking about it, and damn straight they should be. Plus, I want to be one of the cool kids with this. But anyway, just like the title says, Crash is finally back, and I won't lie, I've been very excited about this since they announced Crash is coming back as a remaster. Probably more than I should have been for a remaster, but come on, it's fucking Crash Bandicoot. And I'm not alone by saying it's one of my childhood games. Actually, scratch that. It's one of my best childhood games. And let me start off by saying this remaster will probably not ever replace the original trilogy, not because it's not as good, it's more because I had such a nostalgic feel with the original, and there's a lot of family moments I've had with that, which I can't really have nowadays because I'm 21 and I don't think my parents care as much about Crash Bandicoot as they used to. But does it mean the game's going to be shit? No, it doesn't, because we haven't actually played it yet. This is just going by what I've seen. And to be fair, in the recent years we've had some amazing remasters come out, the main ones being Ratchet and Clank for the film adaptation and also Abe's New and Tasty. But from the trailer itself, I'm not 100% convinced. This doesn't mean that I'm going to hate on it, it's just I need to see more, or at least play a demo before I can give you a final idea of what I think. So from what we already know, these remasters are actually being handled by someone who's worked within the Crash industry before, which is Vicarious Visions. They worked on the Game Boy Advance titles, which 2 out of the 4 are actually really good. I really do not like Crash Fusion, and I've never really played Nitro Kart, but I've heard mixed things about it. So this means that it's a good thing that they've got someone who's already used to the name to actually make the game, and they do remind you how well they do it by the level in Skylanders based on Insanity Island. While the game isn't really a Crash game in a sense, it's more a Skylanders game because it's set in Skylanders, the artistic vision and nostalgia done in this level is why I bought that game. I've never played a Skylanders game before and I do enjoy playing it, but to me the Crash level is the best part of the game I've played. However, there was one problem I had with this, and it's the feeling I got from playing Crash. While it's great to be playing Crash and Cortex again after so many years, Crash just didn't feel the same as he does normally. This could be a game that is a Skylanders game and he's meant to be designed differently for a beat 'em up style, but I do have the fear that because it's made by the same people, they could just take this over. But I really need to play the game before I can make that kind of judgment, so I'm not going to say anything else here. I've also heard from various people and friends that the new design for the characters, mainly Crash, don't look as detailed as they could have been. I don't fully agree with this because I personally like the design for Cortex and everybody else. It looks really good and it fits the rest of the game. Crash, however, doesn't seem to have that kind of detail, and that could either be because it's meant to feel like the original Crash Bandicoot, or they haven't put enough detail in. Honestly, I would have been happy with the Skylanders design, as I thought that's the idea they were going for, and it looks really nice in that. So I don't see why they don't just take that model over instead of trying to make a new one. But either way, hopefully Crash's design improves by the end. And speaking of improvements, it seems that the devs have also tried to improve certain areas of the original games which people didn't really like, by with the first one being adding counters to the boxes so you know how many are left in the level, and also they're adding time trials to all of the games. So have fun with Slippery Climb on this one, guys, because fuck off am I going to try and do that one. And while we're on the subject of Slippery Climb, this is something I really hope they don't do, and that's change the difficulty with the levels. Crash Bandicoot 1 is known for Slippery Climb being the worst level in the game. It's not a bad level, it's more just it's fucking irritating as hell to get the gem on. I mean, with the new system, it's going to be a bit easier, but I hope they don't get rid of the challenge of trying to beat the level. I remember the first time I beat that level and that was the most rewarding thing ever, and to this day, getting a gem on that level is still a rewarding feeling. I don't want the new game to be more dumbed down and easy to run through because it's trying to aim for a new audience. I want it to be the same experience as the original, because if so, what's the point of getting the new one? Another good improvement, depending on how you look at it, would have to be the improved soundtracks. They still have that lovely noise and melody, but it would be nice to have the choice of actually choosing the original soundtrack instead. Sometimes I'm a bit picky with this kind of stuff because, again, it's nostalgia kicking in, but the one thing I don't really like at the moment is the new sound effects. The main one being the Wumpa Fruit. They use the same sound effect as what they had in Skylanders, and when I used to pick up Wumpa on that, it really bugged me. There's something about the original sound which was quite unique, and whenever I hear it I think of Crash Bandicoot. Nowadays you don't hear these kind of sounds that often, and to be fair, they probably don't sound that great being a PS4 title, but they should try and keep it as similar to it as possible, because it won't have that same kind of effect if it doesn't sound the same. And this is something Abe's New and Tasty had, which really bugged me. I can understand that he had to do the voice lines again for Abe, but it didn't sound the same. It might be because he hasn't done it for a fair few years, but it doesn't give me that same effect of like fear and when you're taking control of them. It's just little things which bother me. I'm a bit picky with this kind of stuff. But overall, we don't really get much info from these trailers or gameplay. They have brought interest into it again, and it does make me want to play the original Crash Trilogy again, but I'm not going to really go into much detail of anything at the moment because there's not enough to go by. But I wouldn't mind hearing what you guys think. Do you think this looks good? Do you think it could look better? Are you going to get it? Obviously I am, because I buy every game under the sun for some stupid reason. But if there is a demo, your best bet would be probably hearing this over my Twitter. I don't think I'll make another video on it until the game comes out. And before anybody says it in the comments, yes, I was meant to do a Q&A first, and I was meant to do a review first, but this kind of came out of nowhere. And at the time, I just had an operation on my foot, so I couldn't really stand up much, hence why I've done this. But that should be coming out soon. But until then, have a good week. Let me know what you think of the new trailer and gameplay. I'll leave a link to both in the description, and I'll see you very soon.